The first thing that we need to start to establish with our new people is setting their expectations. They need to know what to expect. And I tell a lot of people, I told these two guys, listen, like what we were doing is we were recapping their first, they did a home meeting, a launch meeting. And that alone to me was a huge success. A new person doing a meeting was a huge success. But in their eyes, it was not a success because they didn't get the yeses. Not as many people turned up. So here's what you need to do. Here's what I did for these guys. First of all, I told them, if you guys are even in this business 12 months from now, you're going to beat most people at this game because most people quit in their first 90 days to 6 months. They quit. So if you can just do that, if you can get beyond 6 months, if you can make a decision today that I am going to be a part of this company, I'm going to be plugged in 6 months, even better, a year from now, you're going to beat most people at this game. Hey, welcome back to the Freedom Factory. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week since we last were together. I got a lot of great feedback from last week's show, and I'm glad you guys like it. That topic about leverage is near and dear to my heart. So if you missed last week's podcast, make sure you go back and listen to that one. I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. Today, the podcast comes from a conversation that I had this past week with some new business partners out in Australia. So if you guys are listening, yes, this is about you guys. And it's a topic that I think a lot of you will get value from because we all deal with it. For those of us that are still building teams, and especially for the new people out there that are starting to build a team, and are dealing with the constant turnover in your organization from a business partner standpoint. You bring someone in as a business partner, they want to do this business with you, they're excited, and many of them end up doing very little to nothing. And it can be draining, it can be disappointing, it can make you feel like this isn't going to work for you. And I'm going to share some things with you today that help me and things that I've learned along the way to just come to expect about what this business is as you're building it out. And so if we can keep more people on the teams, then obviously we give ourselves and them a better chance. The longer they're with us, right? The longer they're in the game, the better chance they have at winning. And that's what this is about this week, is helping your new people that come in stay in the game long enough to where they will either finally get the skills necessary to grow their business, or maybe they have some success along the way. And that's what's needed to get their confidence up. That's really what it's about, is them believing in themselves. And so to kind of kick this thing off, it's about managing expectations. So when people join your business, they're going to go out, obviously, they're excited. They're going to start talking to people about whatever it is that you guys are distributing, products, services, whatever it is. And they are expecting to get yeses, especially from some of their inner circle. Everybody has those go-to people. I had some go-to people that told me no, and it rocked me. It took me back. And your new people are going to do the same thing. They're going to go, even if you tell them, hey, listen, you need to get trained. We need to get you kind of kicked off in the right direction. There's some do's and don'ts. They're not going to listen to you. Most people will not listen to you. They're going to go out because, they're like, oh yeah, I know. So I know they said to do this, but this is my really close friend and they'll do it. They'll do this because they do everything with us. And then they get their teeth kicked in, and all of a sudden now they're second guessing if they should have joined you in the business. And so the first thing that we need to start to establish with our new people is setting their expectations. They need to know what to expect. And I tell a lot of people, I told these two guys, listen, like what we were doing is we were recapping their first, they did a home meeting, a launch meeting. And that alone to me was a huge success. A new person doing a meeting was a huge success. But in their eyes, it was not a success because they didn't get the yeses. Not as many people turned up. So here's what you need to do. Here's what I did for these guys. First of all, I told them, if you guys are even in this business 12 months from now, you're going to beat most people at this game because most people quit in their first 90 days to 6 months. They quit. So if you can just do that, if you can get beyond 6 months, if you can make a decision today that I am going to be a part of this company, I'm going to be plugged in 6 months, even better, a year from now, you're going to beat most people at this game. And when you beat most people in any industry, it usually means you're going to earn more money, that things are going to work for you better than they work for others. And so right out of the gates, I told these guys, and I'm telling you this story so that you can relate to your new people. Your new people need to know that part of winning at this is being a part of this longer than most people think you're going to be a part. They think you're going to get involved in something, and within 90 days, 6 months, you're going to forget about it, and you'll be on to the next thing. If you're around 12 months from now, if you're still excited about the products or the service 12 months from now, your friends will be curious. They will be curious. I can assure you that. So that's number one. You're going to beat most people if you're just in the game. Like, I'm not saying you don't have to get any yeses. You can get 0 yeses for the next 12 months. And if you're still here, you're still going to be better than most people because most people will quit. Okay. If you sign up in the business and then you tell anyone that you did this, because a lot of people will do this, guys, they will sign up and they tell just a few people and that's it. They stop. They tell 2 or 3 people, 5 people, they get 2, 3, 4, 5 no's and they quit. If you can just tell a few people about this business, if you can just literally have enough courage, enough faith in yourself and your product or your service to tell people about this offer that you have for the next 12 months, you're going to beat most people because most people won't do it. They'll share with just a couple people and then they're out. They're gone because of the no's. And I'm going to share this now so I don't forget. It's not in my notes. If you really, really want to help your new people, here's what it is. If you can just simply be if you can be okay with being the person that your network is kind of whispering about, like if you can be just, no one wants to be the joke of a network, right? Or your friend group. Like no one wants to be the joke of the friend group. But if you're willing to be like the person that people are talking about, like in a negative way, like, can you believe Brandon is doing this thing? Can you believe he's a part of this? Can you believe, like, if you can just survive 18 months of that, you will have massive success in this business, massive success. If you'll just make a decision, I don't care what my friends think for the next 18 months. I know what I know. I know more than them. And listen, guys, if your new people will plug in and they will maybe come to some events, they will get educated about the product or the service you're offering. Within an hour, they know more about all of their friend work, the friends network about this product or service. Like I tell people, if you'll sit through 30 minutes of a Zoom or a video about what our core products are, you know so much more than the people you're going to talk to, that their opinion of the product, if it's negative, should not bother you because they just don't know. They just don't know. Like my example is, it would be like taking advice from a 5-year-old on financial stability. Like you're an adult, right? You're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. You've dealt with finances your whole life. And some 10-year-old or teenager comes along and says that, you're doing it all wrong. Like, would that even bother you? Like, would their advice even bother you? Of course not, because you would know their advice is coming from a very shallow place with not much experience or knowledge because they're just young in life, period. That's the same thing in our business. If you've been around this thing for a little bit, couple weeks, couple months, you've been a part of a few Zooms, you know the product or service in or out. If someone comes to you and says, I can't believe you're doing that, their opinion should not bother you because you know so much more than them. Okay. I try to impress this upon people. It's just when people say no, they're coming from an uneducated place. Right. And so number two, guys, is if you will just go tell people about your product or service for the next 12 months, you're going to beat most people. And then I said to them, and they had already had their home meeting. I'm talking to you now on the podcast and the viewers on YouTube. If you will host a Zoom or a live meeting, getting people together, you are going to beat most people in this business because most people won't do it. Most people will not organize a live meeting or a live Zoom meeting. They just won't do it. They're scared. Fear. If you will do that, you're going to beat most people in this business. If you can get some yeses, if you can get a few customers, if you can get a few business partners, you're going to beat most people in this business. You're going to be way above the average. You guys know the average. Last time I checked, the average networker only brings in 2.5 business partners in a lifetime. So if you've already brought in 3 or 4 business partners into your business, not customers, business partners, you're way ahead of what most people do. And so when you start to talk to your people like this, and what are we doing? We're talking about expectations. Their expectations are like super high expectations. And so if you want people to stick around, and you do, because as I said at the top of this podcast, the reason we want them to stick around is for them to finally get it. Finally, for the light to go on, to click, right? And sometimes that comes through skills. Sometimes that comes through education or inspiration, where it finally clicks and they get it. That's all you're doing. And for most people, that doesn't happen right away. For me, my first light went off about 4 months after I was into the business at a live event. That's when the light went off for me the very first time. I survived that 4 months, thankfully. And that's what we're trying to do for your people right now. If you want to go pro, like if you want to be a professional in this industry, this profession, you've got to be able to help your people stick around longer. The churn is killing you. If you're not growing, it's because people are joining your team and they're not sticking around long enough to get excited to share this, to grow the business. All right. If you're willing to attend a big destination event, you're going to beat most people in this business. So when I laid this out for these people, their eyes kind of like, they started to realize like, I can do this. Like I can be around 12 months from now. I can still be plugged into this 12 months from now. I can tell some people about this. I can schedule a live meeting. I can go to a live event. If I can do those things, then I can beat most people at this business. And that's really what you guys need to do, is getting people to understand this isn't as difficult as most people make it. Because all you really have to do is outlast the other people. That's why this is really a game of consistency. If you will just outlast what most people do, you're going to win. Think about that. In any business, a lot of businesses that are ultra successful have just had to outlast others. And I'm not saying you're competing against someone else. What you're doing is you're really competing. You're playing the mental game is what's happening here between yourself and your network. Your network is watching. All right. There's a lot of people that are they're on the fence about joining you, because they're just waiting to make sure you're sure. They're waiting for you to quit. But if you won't quit, if you will just do the things that other people are not willing to do. I've had that podcast before. People have asked me so many times, like, What is it, Brandon? Like, what is it that has allowed you guys to be ultra successful in network marketing? And my answer every time is this. We were just willing to do what other people were not willing to do. Period. If you will just do that and keep escalating, that's what these are that I just gave you. Most people are not willing to stick this out 12 months. Most people are not willing to go out and talk to their network about it. They're afraid. They're ashamed of network marketing or being one of these things. Most people are not willing to organize and host a live meeting. It's more pressure. Most people are not willing to travel to go to a corporate live event. That's all this is be willing to do what other people are not willing to do, and you are going to crush it in this business. So every time you find yourself in a situation where you don't know what to do, just do what other people are not doing. If other people are not going to go to the event or other people are not doing the Zooms, do those things and you're going to find success. And this is what needs to be the conversation when you're signing people up. You don't have to come out of the gates and sign up a bunch of people. You don't have to do these big things to be successful in this business. Step by step, you just need to be willing to do what other people are not willing to do. And you're going to have ultra success in this business. Now, how do you stay in the game long enough? Because 12 months for a new person is a long time, right? Like, how do you stay in the game? How can you stick through this when it gets tough? When most people are quitting, what is it that's going to allow you or your teammates to survive? Well, in my opinion, it's understanding the daily methods of operation. Because it's the daily methods of operation that are going to lead to your success ultimately. The people who are not having success in this business are not doing the very simple, basic activities every day that lead to the success. Because listen, if you're just sticking around, like I said, if you're just in this business a year from now, you're going to beat most people. That's true. But if you're just in the business, but you're not talking to people, you're not following up with people, you're not sharing the information, you're not going to have success. Just sticking around alone is not going to cut it, right? You've got to do some of the activities that's going to allow you to succeed. And so a DMO, a daily method of operation, and it's just really 5 things, for us that we stick with. And I would say if you don't know what your daily method of operations are, you should probably start right away helping your new people understand this is what we do, and then checking in with them. Because if they're not having success for a long enough period of time, they're going to start to wonder if this is for real, like if this is going to work for them. So the reason those daily methods of operation are so important is so that you can go back and check in with them so that they can understand, okay, well, maybe you're not having the results that you wanted to have because for 2 weeks you haven't invited anyone, or for 2 weeks you haven't followed up with anyone, or for 2 weeks you haven't talked to any new people. Like, these are very simple things that need to happen in order for you to be successful in this business. And so breaking it down to just those activities will allow people to make it from week to week, week to week. And it allows you as a leader of the team to kind of tweak what they're doing. Like, if they're inviting 30, 40, 50 people a week, but they're getting 0 results, you need to be able to identify why that is. Maybe their invites horrible. Maybe what they're saying when they're inviting is turning people away. Maybe they're not even following up. Maybe they just thought they could invite people and people would instantly say yes. So that's why the DMO is so important. I've got a DMO I'm happy to share with any of you guys. It's not designed for my team really, or one company. If you want my DMO, message me. I'll give you the DMO. We've got it in boards. I'll drop it to you, give you the link, and you can use it. It's a very, very simple 5-step process that will work for anybody in network marketing. And then what we do is we let them know that there's like 3 levels of success. There's average success, there's above average, and then there's world-class success. And it has everything to do with the amount of activity within the DMO. Like 1 invite a day versus 5 or 10 invites a day will have drastically different results. But what I want for you guys is to be able to grow a huge team. And one of the most important things you guys can do is managing expectations. So their expectations are high. You need to be able to tell them the simple things that they need to do in order to win in this game. And like I said at the top of this thing, it's a mental game, guys. This is a mental thing. And mentally, if you can help them stay in the game until the light comes on, you're going to be able to grow a very successful team. That's what we've done. That's why we do some of the things that we do. There's a psychology to the madness of building these big teams, and building ultimately what you want is a team that gives you freedom, a team of leaders that are going out and creating leaders. And so hopefully you can take some of these basic things that I've shared with you today, help your people stick around a few extra weeks, a few extra months, and in that vein, be able to build a huge organization. So you guys have a great week, and we'll see you guys next week on the Freedom Factory. Bye-bye.